becoming quite the habit. How do you feel? I know it's a grind, 56 games. How do you feel making the show here?
I'm exhausted. We had 2 weeks ago a long week, and was able to win that event, and to come into this week and barely make the first cut, and then just figure something out, and was able to bowl a bunch of big scores, for a day and a half, and then just had enough of a lead on the show to hang on tonight. I didn't really have it, and luckily for me, my spare game was on point, and that's really what kept me in it.
I know pair to pair in your on the lanes you moved on. It seemed like on this end of the house, 27, 28, some of those lanes really difficult. I know you had a tough game in there.
Yeah.
How much was it from pair to pair that made it even tougher?
Yeah, the pair to pair was tricky, but for me, the way that I was throwing it, the only way that I felt like I could get my ball to go through the pins properly was to hit it a little harder and get my hand around it. But with that comes a lot of volatility. So when you have pairs that hook a little more in the front, every time I miss the pocket, it splits because the way I'm throwing it. And I wanted to try to get my hand up the back of it a little more and roll it and control the lane, and I did that early, but the ball never struck. So I kind of I probably should have just stuck with that and bowled decent games and just rolled it. And but hopefully I'll be a little more prepared on Sunday.
It's never easy to win a major, but look at the field you have to go through here. If you walk out of a winner, boy, you have to feel not only great to win a U.S. Open, but to beat the four guys in front of you, that's going to be a challenge.
I mean, it would be the best win of my professional career, absolutely, no doubt. But listen, I've bowled all these guys, better parts of my career, and I've beat all of them on the show. I've lost them all on shows before, so I have a lot of experience against all these guys. So I'm really looking forward to it.
If you can cap it off with a win, what a start to the season! Your confidence has to be sky high.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just knowing where I'm at with my game and how I'm feeling, to start the year off this way is, I certainly didn't expect it. You never know what to expect at this kind of layoff. We haven't had a PBA event in 8 months, and then to come right out, win the first one, and make show at the U.S. Open hasn't really sunk in yet.
E.J. Tackett here at the U.S. Open, and man, you qualified fourth. And a chance to win back-to-back U.S. Opens. But let's go to the very beginning of the tournament. At one point, you were 86 under to start this tournament out, and you scratch and claw and fight your way to the TV show in fourth place. Let's talk about your week.
It was a roller coaster, that's for sure, and it was very difficult. I definitely didn't have that kind of free will striking like I had the last 2 years. It was definitely way more of a grind this time. I'm exhausted, physically and mentally and emotionally, because it was just such an up and down week. I have a chance, and that's all you can ask for. Obviously, I'd like to be the number one seed and only have to bowl one game, but all we can ask for is a chance, and that's what I got. Now I just got to get on the show and perform, bowl well, and that's all I can do, and hopefully the scores I put up are good enough to win.
When you think about this, it's like, how can you top last year's win by becoming a Triple Crown winner? Oh, let's wait, back-to-back, and now your little one here with you on Sunday? I mean, how can it get any better than that?
I don't think it would get much better than that, actually. That would be pretty cool. To win back-to-back, I've only ever done that one time, and that was the Lucy Double, so it's the only time I've ever won a tournament back-to-back years. To be able to have a chance to do it at a major championship is going to be really cool. Hopefully I can get to that title match and like I said, bowl a good game. You can't control what your opponent does. All you can do is bowl the best that you can and hope it's good enough to win. But to have a little trip here would be really cool, to be able to win with him here. Hopefully it happens at some point in my career, but sooner rather than later I would like it to happen.
How hard is it for you to kind of, bowling is a game of emotions. Not only, you're trying to win what may be the biggest major of the season, but you have your little one with you here, and you're trying to win back-to-back. How hard is it to keep the emotions in check and do the task at hand?
I mean, it's really, really difficult. The U.S. Open is such a test in every aspect, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So it's really hard to stay within yourself and make shots. And I know I got out of that a couple of times this week where I wasn't able to throw shots because I just got so frustrated. I was frustrated at how difficult the lanes were, frustrated at the shot making that I wasn't doing. There were a lot of things that went into it, but you have to be able to get yourself back into it. I was able to do that, and able to get myself on the show. Like I said, give myself a chance to win the tournament.
Think about it's the who's who of the PBA Tour on the show. I mean, for you to win it, you have earned it and you have beat the best. That would have to even be icing on the cake at that point, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. No, whoever wins this tournament knows that they won the tournament because the best guys showed up this week, and that's what the U.S. Open does. You see the best players rise to the top, and that's exactly what happened this week. We counted it up. There's 89 titles and 28 major championships on this show, which is absolutely nuts. So whoever ends up winning knows that they won this championship and they earned every bit of it.
Well, hopefully it's another dream day for you. We wish you the best of luck. All right, Kyle Troop here, the U.S. Open, qualified in the third position, right?
Yes, sir.
And a little bit of maybe some redemption here. Came up short last year. Now you have a chance to get yourself a U.S. Open. How tough was it to get to this Final Five?
I mean, it was tough. Very mentally draining. I would give myself a B- on my emotion management. So that's why it was even tougher for me, because I felt like I was on a roller coaster at times. But I was always able to gather myself and keep grinding. That was the word, keep grinding no matter what. But this is a tough tournament. I guess I'm getting pretty comfortable with this bowling center here, making the show 2 years in a row. So a lot of confidence, but nothing matters that happened last year. This is a completely different tournament, and I kind of look at each show as its own show.
It's not only tough to win a U.S. Open, but look at the guys in this Final Five. It's the best in the world, and here you are amongst it, and one of the best. How much gratifying, or even more gratifying, would it be to walk out of here knowing who you went through?
It'd be great, especially being that the Big Three is on the TV show. I wasn't too happy about that. It's a blessing to be a part of be joined with the Big Three. But it's not too often am I the lowest title count at 10 or the lowest major count on the show. So it is pretty exciting to be a part of a super bracket, I guess you could call it, of some sort. But it's going to take the most focus, the most mental fortitude and shot making that I have possible to bring home the victory.
The U.S. Open ranks up there with the best tournaments because of the format and how tough it is. How tough was it for you when you migrated through the three lane patterns and then obviously the fourth with the match play? It looked like scores were just tough to get all week long.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 days, or the first three patterns, you're just trying not to hurt yourself. Really just get to the fourth pattern. That way you can bowl on it over and over and over and make adjustments, see similar lines from day to day, because we're coming in, playing here, playing in the middle. Now we at least have day after day of similar game plans. But, I had a great look on the fresh throughout the match play, so that kind of gave me the confidence and good vibes going into the beginning of a block. And then I kind of grinded through, and I don't think the lanes will transition quite that bad on the TV show pair, so I think I may be in a good little middle right here, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, Jason Belmonte here at the U.S. Open, qualified second. What a grinding week here it was at the U.S. Open with all the 4 different lane patterns. How do you feel like you handled yourself? And you got to be excited with an opportunity to come away with the U.S. Open on Sunday.
Oh, no, absolutely, yeah. This building in particular is rocks or diamonds for me. And I feel like it's already a tricky house. And then you lay down 4 really tricky oil patterns on top of it. And then I personally had a lot of issues with the approaches all week. I must have missed. I don't even want to look at the stats and how many spares I missed because I just couldn't get to the line. So you put all that into a nice little pot and mix it up, and you've got nothing but headaches and disasters and a lot of trouble. So to be able to fight through all that and put together, really, because of the multiple pattern format, you can hit just a couple of squads, and if you really hit them and then just survive on the other ones, you can really leapfrog a lot of people. And I think that's kind of what I did. I had a great second round on the second pattern, then I had a relatively good third day, then I had a bad cashes round, and then I had an average first round. And so you just need to grind, and then when you find it, you got to capitalize on it and make your runs when it's there for you. and then you do that again and grind, and then you find a pair or two that you can hit. You got to take advantage of it and make a jump, and that's what a lot of experience will do at this tournament. You just got to kind of bite your tongue, bite your lip, and when you see that ball hook where you weren't thinking it was going to hook, that's the pair you got to shoot 250 on.
For a lot of the people that don't get an opportunity to bowl in an event like this, how do you feel after 56 games?
Yeah, I'm ready to go for another round. What, we're done? Can we have another round of this? No, it's pretty exhausting. It's probably, because of those approaches, just my left leg is on fire. Like my hamstring, my calf, it's really tender at the moment. But outside of that, normally, you're just mentally exhausted because you're constantly thinking, is it time to ball change? Is it time to move? Is it time to increase or decrease my speed? Should I move a zone left or 2 zones right? So you're constantly having the wheels inside moving, and that's what tires you the most. You can't just, I'm comfortable, I can bowl like this for a day. No, it's never like that. So looking forward to a hot shower and sleep. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the show real quick. Man, what a final 5 you got. You have to feel good about yourself being in that. You'd love to be number 1, but being 2, you don't have to go through the gauntlet of everybody. But to win Sunday and against this field, you have to put this major at one of the tops of your career.
Look, we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, when it comes down to the matches that EJ and I have played and Anthony and I have played, it's very hard to rank them because we do have such epic matches. What I did say to the boys tonight, though, was this is probably my favorite show at the beginning of it of all time. It is a stacked. I don't think in the history of the PBA, with the names and caliber of players that we have combined for this show, I'm not well educated on pre-2000s, but I'm pretty sure I never saw a match as stacked as this. But I might be wrong. I'm sure someone out there will correct me. So if there was a match where, Roth, Holman, Weber, Duke, and Parker were all on at the same time, that may be the one that could. Walter?
Yeah, you can't forget about Walter.
Pete?
Yeah.
Did I say Pete? Yeah.
There's a lot of them, right?
Oh my God. If there's a show with those guys on it, maybe then. But it's going to be, if you don't watch this show, you don't like bowling. There is a little bit for everyone on this show.
Well, not that you need luck, but we wish you the best of luck. And
appreciate you. Thank you.
Will Anthony, another major, another number 1 seed. Let's talk about the week and just what makes you so good on these tournaments that have multiple patterns.
I think at least in this building, I'm pretty comfortable. Obviously, I've had some success here a couple times. But I think it's just kind of one of those things, knowing that the scoring pace is going to be a little lower. So obviously, we don't enjoy bowling 160 by any means. But it's one of those things where if you bowl 160 in this event, it's not the end of the world. I had, I think, 4 or 5 of them throughout the week. And just being able to kind of navigate the lanes in different parts. Even though same machine, same center, I felt like there was some variations in patterns of what you had to do, which I think kind of plays into my favor. I'm trying to find a fancier word, I guess, but I'm basically just not scared to try stuff. So I think that's one thing. It can obviously be very beneficial, but it can also be it can hurt your score a little bit with the wrong option.
Talk about this loaded field. This might be the best TV show in PBA history with the qualifications of all 5 competitors. How great is it to be you only have to bowl 1 match?
Yeah, that's always nice. Only having to bowl 1 game for the title is pretty sweet. The show is incredible. It's kind of cool because there's a little bit of mix of guys who I grew up watching a little bit, as well as some new young faces. Obviously, EJ was kind of like right in that middle. Well, I guess EJ and Kyle, they're right in the middle of, those guys are good buddies with me. They were out on tour when I first came out. Belin and Bill, I've watched them for years. So it'll be pretty sweet. It is cool getting to to bowl on TV with those guys, and I mean, I don't know if we're going to have a top 5 that's any stronger than what we got.
Let's be selfish. What does, in your mind, a victory here Sunday do for you as far as, do you feel like now I'm the best in the world?
You know, I feel like that's kind of one of the things. I've always been the guy that like lets my ball do the talking. Whatever, you know, social media, etc. I let everybody, you know, say what they want to say. I mean, sure, people say it, but I'm never really the guy that's gonna be, you know, go around, I'm the best, etc. I'll jokingly say it with some people, but I'm never like inside the ball instead of talking to people. I'm never gonna be that guy. I try to at least try to stay as humble as possible. It'll be pretty sweet, you know. I was talking to Nolan. I don't set any goals every year. I just always go out week to week, bowl as best as we can, and kind of see what happens. It's kind of just been the mindset that I've had. I mean, now I've been bowling for a living for the past 10 years. So it kind of went from, you know, bowling to survive, etc., to now we're, all right, we're good. We can start kind of planning the later things in life, but then also knowing that, like, even if I don't get a check here, the bills are still going to be paid, all of that's still taken care of. Excuse me, it's not one of those things where if we don't get a check, I'm not, you know, sitting in the back of my head going, well, where the hell are we going to eat? Like, how are we going to eat? Stuff like that. I don't think the goal thing's ever going to change. It's just, I think it's easier to not have any expectations. Then you can't really, you can't let yourself down, right? But at the same time, it's just, I can live with, if I go out and I bowl as good as I can bowl, there's going to be weeks where guys are going to bowl way better than me, and there's going to be weeks I'm going to bowl way better than them. So,
Well, last year you had an historic year. EJ got a few more wins than you, but your record in every week was just incredible. Top 5, top 10 finishes. Do you feel like this win can help maybe spearhead a big run this year and make it Anthony Simonson's season?
yeah, you know, I think so. I think physically I'm bowling pretty well. Obviously the scoring pace was really high in Wichita. I like striking as much as the next guy, but I also like striking when the next guy's not striking. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be good. It'll obviously even just making the show. I'm just happy with the way that I handle things throughout the week. Obviously, there's some low games, but just moving across the lane, making the decisions, everything was executed pretty well. This last block here got physically a little out of whack. I think trying to make some ball motion happen that wasn't necessarily needed. We kind of focused on a couple things, got ourselves situated, and was able to bowl a pretty good last game and a half that was needed prior to the position round.
Well, we wish you the best of luck on Sunday. I'm sure it's going to be a blast. And I'm telling you, if you love bowling, you can't miss this show.
I mean, Sunday is the show to watch. It's going to be that'll be one, I think, regardless of the outcome. I'll probably end up going back and watch. I'm not a big guy that goes back and watches at least the shows that I'm on. But I think regardless of the outcome, that'll be a fun one to watch throughout the years.
All right. Best of luck, Anthony.
Thanks, guys.
All right.